Starting our day at Wind Rock in the Mountain Lake wilderness of Jefferson National Forest. This is on the Appalachian Trail, and you get 180-degree western panoramas of the Allegheny Mountains across the border in West Virginia. I think this area to the southwest is Peters Mountain. Maybe it's that big one, not really sure. And this is all the Stony Creek Valley. And we're going to be heading northish on the Potts Mountain Trail out to White Rocks. This is the highest point of Potts Mountain, 4,128 feet. Even though it feels really flat, it's got a prominence of over 400 feet. And it's also the former site of the Stony Creek Lookout Tower. All that remains are the concrete footings. Hey everyone, it is Saturday, July the 14th, around 12:30 p.m. and I'm hiking in Virginia for the third weekend in a row doing some more peak bagging. Today I'm doing two shorter hikes around 6 miles each in the Mountain Lake region north of Harrisburg, Blacksburg, and the New River Valley. We started our hike at the Appalachian Trail crossing of Mountain Lake Road and headed north into the Mountain Lake wilderness, with the first stop being Wind Rock, a very popular overlook on the AT. Really nice 180-degree views. And from there we left the AT, taking the Potts Mountain Trail, which I believe at this point is abandoned by the Forest Service. And we crossed the true summit of Potts Mountain, which used to have a lookout tower. And after that, in the next field, we lost the Potts Mountain Trail and wound up back on the AT. And there's a connector when the AT turns south back to the Potts Mountain Trail. And we're currently on it, following the ridge line out towards White Rocks, which is the county high point for Craig County and is on a couple other lists. Potts Mountain is a spur of Salt Pond Mountain, and it's basically flat. The only issue with having an abandoned trail like this is the grass has grown up over everything, over this four-wheel drive track. And we're just kind of leery of snakes walking through a lot of this. Right now is actually one of the better sections we've been on. The grass has been thicker and higher than it is now. But I think we're about half a mile from White Rocks, our turnaround point. And overall, other than the grass, it's a really easy hike. Oh, that's a cool tree. This gives you an idea of the terrain of Potts Mountain. Really open and flat. You know, we're passing by some pretty good sized hardwood trees. I don't know if they're old growth, but they definitely look to be second growth. And they've been sprinkled throughout the Potts Mountain Trail. Let's go ahead and show you the map for the area. Couldn't really find anything specific for the Mountain Lake wilderness, so I have to settle for the National Geographic Blacksburg, New River Valley region, encompassing both George Washington and Jefferson National Forests. started the hike at this P where the orange colored Appalachian Trail crosses the state route. And then we quickly summited Wind Rock. And as you can see, both the Appalachian Trail and trail number 55, the Potts Mountain Trail, basically parallel one another. The Appalachian Trail is staying a few hundred feet from the Potts Mountain crest. And then we're continuing on the Potts Mountain Trail out to White Rocks and then turning around for a roughly 6-mile hike. We already went out and back to what is labeled as White Rocks on the USGS map. There's a couple county high points up there for Monroe County, West Virginia, and Craig County, Virginia, but there actually weren't any views. It was heavily forested at the summit. On the way there, we passed by a row of rocks to the east, and these are really the only views on this section. This is the most accessible view, and kind of get an eastern view across the Johns Creek Valley. And this is Johns Creek Mountain. And I believe the high point here is Kelly Knob, which is a nice viewpoint on the Appalachian Trail. And then Salt Pond Mountain continues to the southeast. Bald Knob, our next destination, might be the round summit in the distance, but can't really tell. It's around 2:30 p.m. arriving at the parking area. So we've been hiking approximately 3 hours, and it turns out it's going to be around 7 miles instead of 6 miles. I think with the extra bit of bushwhacking and peak finding we did, added some mileage. And also, if you're not doing the high point of Potts Mountain, I definitely recommend skipping the first half of the Potts Mountain Trail and just following the Appalachian Trail, which parallels the trail, until it takes a hard right going south, and there's a very short connector of a few hundred yards up to the Potts Mountain Trail, so you can skip a lot of the high weed growth on that comes up to your knees and obscures whatever you're stepping on. Otherwise, it was pretty underwhelming, the White Rocks area. I thought the views were going to be better, but Wind Rock is always nice, and it's a very easy hike from the parking area, about a quarter mile. So if you're in the area, check it out. We're on to our next hike.